This post on X does a great job summarizing the key difference between BMNR and SBET and their strategies to accumulate Ethereum. BMNR is aggressively accumulating ETH, targeting 5% of the total supply. They use strategic ATM offerings at price peaks to boost ETH holdings and EPS. Meanwhile, SBET's ETH holdings have grown very slowly, causing a sharp drop in EPS growth. They tend to acquire ETH at a lower price. Two very different paths. So simply put, so far it seems that BMNR's strategy has been to accumulate ETH very aggressively to hit their 5% target, while SBET's been a little slower with their purchases, but they buy when they feel is right. And we can see that BMNR has by far the highest ETH per share. My opinion on this whole BMNR versus SBET debate is just hold both. These things are really hard to predict, so in my opinion, it doesn't hurt to diversify and just hold both stocks, or options if you're a degenerate like me. Bitmine surpassed 8.8 billion in ETH holdings. Bitmine Immersion now holds 1.7 million ETH, becoming the world's largest Ethereum treasury and second largest crypto treasury after MicroStrategy. Rapid ETH accumulation and price gains boosted BMNR's NAV per share by 74% to 39.84, with 562 million in cash reserves for further purchases. Despite a 6% stock drop following ETH's 4,600 pullback, Bitmine remains bullish on Ethereum's long-term potential amid AI and blockchain adoption and regulatory shifts. BMNR now has over 1.4% of all the ETH supply. And if BMNR gets to their 5% target and ETH goes above 12K, Bitmine would be larger than MicroStrategy. And this is something that Tom Lee has talked about as a real possibility. He was on the Bankless podcast talking about how he and Joe Lubin both hold the belief that ETH may be able to 100x and maybe even flip Bitcoin.
I think the upside case for ETH is actually higher than, let's say, Bitcoin did 100x. Could Ethereum do 100x? I mean, Joe Lubin sort of has that kind of upside in his mind. Because Joe and I are in dialogue. I mean, we are really partners in trying to push ETH as a treasury, as a digital infrastructure. And I think that could happen because there is probably a significant probability that Ethereum could flip Bitcoin as well in terms of network value. And then if you're, if someone thinks Bitcoin's at $1 million, then imagine what it means for Ethereum, because it is not just Wall Street financializing onto blockchain, but it's AI, but it's also part of the U.S. focus on AI dominance, right? Ethereum plays a strategic role there. Now, if MicroStrategy had tripled the upside of Bitcoin, then that means, in theory, the Ethereum treasuries could triple whatever Ethereum could do. So, I don't think you're going to go wrong saying that the Ethereum treasuries are a good investment class. But if you're looking at what Bitmine's doing, it's those other things I was saying distinguish it. And that's why, maybe we will be at the front end of that. But they should all do well because Ethereum itself is undervalued.
I love how in this clip, Tom Lee pretty much just casually implies that BMNR and SBET could be a 300x. In other news, ETHZilla authorized a $250 million stock buyback, stating, "As we continue to scale our ETH reserves and pursue differentiated yield opportunities, we believe an aggressive stock repurchase program at the current stock price underscores our commitment to maximizing value for our shareholders." They also introduced the Electric Asset Protocol, which they say will be used to generate higher yield on its crypto holdings. ETHZilla was up 13% pre-market on this news, but pretty much gave it all back by market close. In my opinion, I do like this company, especially because it's backed by Peter Thiel. I think this is a good move to hopefully give investors more confidence, especially after announcing the major 46% dilution, which caused the stock to drop 30%. There was also news today about a new Solana treasury company. Sharps Technology, a small medical device and pharmaceutical packaging company, announced Monday that it plans to sell $400 million worth of its stock to fund a treasury for Solana. I'm keeping an eye on Solana treasury companies because I feel like if ETH actually really does rise a lot in price, Solana will eventually follow. I feel like one of the best arguments for the value of ETH is its network of users and developers, And Solana definitely really has a strong network as well. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. I'll see you in the next one with more ETH Treasury news.